The Simpsons' predictions for 2024 are truly chilling. In an episode dating back to 1998, the show hinted at an economic crisis, a nuclear war, and the death of the leader of the United States, all happening in the same year. The episode in question, titled Bart to the Future, provides a glimpse into the future where Lisa Simpson has become the President of the United States. In a conversation with her team, Lisa mentions that the previous administration led by President Biden left behind budget problems and quite a mess. Later in the episode, a news bulletin reports a nuclear clash with an unspecified country, resulting in massive destruction and chaos. While the idea of a nuclear war and an economic crisis is quite frightening, we can certainly hope that these Simpsons predictions do not come true. However,
again, all just predictive programming. And yeah, like The Simpsons, I think it was made for a reason to put out all of this information. But once you're awake, you can kind of put two and two together. A lot of the more NPC type of people, they're not going to really notice this. So it's good that all this information is coming out and people are noticing subliminal messaging, which is a good thing.
Let's just say the power grid goes out, okay? I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
I know.
I just don't know when it's going to happen. Meaning, is it going to be in 2024 during election year? Because they're scared shitless that Trump could actually win. Is it going to be next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? I believe it's going to happen. You best just do whatever you can to be ready for it. Some people are maybe saying, well, I don't have the kind of money. You guys got the money and da-da-da-da. This isn't about money. There's ways of preparing in different ways based on the kind of resources you got. Protect your family. How do you do it? You have to do a little bit of research, a little bit of studying for yourself to find out if that were to happen. Do you have a small generator? Do you have certain things set aside? What method of payment will you use if you don't have any cash, or if you don't have, what other things do you have to protect your family? I do believe it is something worth talking about with your family to be prepared for this, because I think something like this is going to happen next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And by the way, I do believe it's going to be worse than COVID, because at least with COVID, you can stay home, still communicate with others. With this, you stay home. Your internet, security, gate, lights, it's mayhem. Everything's gone. So what do? You just got to be prepared for it.
Absolutely. Especially if a solar flare hit the earth and this were to happen, I think people would be in mass panic and people would not know what to do. Especially nowadays, people really lack survival skills. People aren't really prepared for the worst of what's to come. Everyone's really cozy and comfortable with their lives. They don't really want to think about these things and prepare. So definitely will be mass panic. Hopefully this doesn't happen. But yeah, I've heard a lot of theories about this, that the grid will be shut down soon, and let's pray it doesn't. One big solar flare will wipe this grid right out, and it will really show the survival of the fittest, because I don't think people will be ready for it.
I'm telling you right now, something is not right about this eclipse. This is the path that it will take, and it will cross over with the eclipse that we had in 2017, making an X on the country. Now, right there in the crosshairs, right there, is a town called Maconda, Illinois.
Maconda forever.
Let's talk about it. So this is a better look at the direct path of totality that the solar eclipse will take. Right there by Carbondale, where the X meets, is Maconda. Just as a fun fact for Shiggles, this has never happened in the United States. We have never had two solar eclipse paths cross over on one town. So this is a pretty big fucking deal. Maconda really isn't that big of a deal. It has a population of like 500 people, and it's known as a hippie town in Illinois. Now, what I did find interesting is that there is a giant city-state park inside of Maconda. Are we waking up giants? Now, Maconda translated to South African, it means little ones. Are we the little ones and they're the big ones coming when the eclipse happens? Now, maybe I'm wilding out. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe there's nothing to this. But if I am just wilding out and there is nothing to this, why have they already predicted a historical chance of cloud coverage on the day of the solar eclipse? Since when do they predict cloud coverage 2 months in advance? That shit's suspicious. The fact that this hasn't ever happened before is suspicious. The fact that there is a giant city-state park right outside Sewanee National Forest, which is known for Bigfoot sightings, is suspicious. So are the clouds a attempt to hide the eclipse from us so that we don't see what happens in the shadows? Because let me remind you, this total solar eclipse will last for 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Astrology is a whole different realm of understanding. A lot of it ties in with where the Earth is and where planets align. And it's predicted that a lot of weird things happen when we're aligning with certain things at a certain time. So she could be onto something. I don't know for sure, but definitely a very interesting video.
Alright guys, we're pretty sure we're onto a pretty big conspiracy theory here, so stay tuned. We'll show you what's going on here. And we are currently in a place that has this logo on there. As you can see, we're in that place. They're putting a new thing in. What's this little guy? Now we need to be a bit quiet here, don't we?
Right, yeah. We're not sure if they're changing from one to the other. I did hear a rumor that this particular shop that we currently are in are going to be stocking that Anko brand, which belongs to the other shop. But I don't know, I just can't. I think it's really odd that they've got one label on one bit in a different shop. Weird.
Very interesting. 2024 is going to be very...
Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. So it's just a Target essentially changing over to Kmart. I don't really see what the conspiracy is behind it, but it's probably about like maybe around 2016, 2015. All of a sudden in Canada, we had Targets everywhere. So they just built up all these Targets, and it literally only lasted maybe 2 years maximum. And then all of a sudden, all the Targets were gone. So I thought that was pretty weird. It's just interesting that they're at a Target, and I'm guessing in Australia. So yeah, I feel like Target might be tied to some shady stuff after seeing what happened here in Canada. Target's a little suspicious.
Did this song from 1969 predict the events of 2024? This theory says yes. So back in 1969, there was a song that was released called Age of Aquarius, Let the Sun Shine In by a band named The Fifth Dimension. In their lyrics, they speak very specifically about what the Age of Aquarius is and what will happen during the Age of Aquarius. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Age of Aquarius just began on January 20th of 2024. The band detailed that during the Age of Aquarius, there will be harmony and understanding, sympathy, trust abounding, and no more falsehoods or lies. And at the very beginning of 2024, the Age of Aquarius, this is already happening. There has been news about aliens and extra-dimensional beings, billionaires and millionaires coming out and being candid about their preparation for the end of the world by building bunkers. Big governments and individuals being exposed for lying, cheating, stealing, and hurting other people.
Especially the past couple years since the whole COVID fiasco. I think people's minds have really been opened to what's going on behind the scenes. And yeah, apparently the Age of Aquarius is a time for enlightenment and truths coming out. I heard 2024 is supposed to be a special year for that. It's very interesting with the world right now. People are either swaying one way, still believing the lies, and just, keeping their heads in the sand. The other side of people, myself included, really asking questions, and we want to figure out the truth to what's going on. We're not putting up with it anymore. These politicians, the media, companies, everyone, it just seems like we've been living a lie for so long. I'm always asking questions and keep my mind open. Obviously take things with a grain of salt, because since 2012 hit, there's been nothing but blatant demonic things pushed in our faces. I started noticing it with music videos, celebrities, the woke agenda kind of started around that time. But it's just been getting worse and worse. It's COVID propaganda, all this stuff, it really just hit the fan. And now we're seeing people really fed up with it. But I think more truth is going to keep coming out, and more people are going to wake up, and we're going to keep demanding our questions to be answered, because there's a lot that they're hiding.
And most importantly, news about World War III has been coming out day after day, warning us that something big is about to happen and that our world will change forever. Now, although some are hopeful for the age of Aquarius, others are actually very fearful of it because some believe that the world will end during the age of Aquarius, which is right around now. Now, whether you believe in astrology or if this band was right or wrong, none of that matters. We do see that something is changing and happening in our world right now, and we have to be prepared for it. So are you prepared for the age of Aquarius and what's to come? Tell me what you think in the comments.
Yeah, he's not wrong. That's no lie. But hopefully more and more people wake up. And if this whole dimensional theory of us ascending into the 5D is real, I feel that happening. I feel like there is a huge shift in humanity, and I would like to see things keep coming out and being exposed, because that's what we need to evolve as a species. Because just living in the dark with all these lies we've been fed for years, decades even, very straining on us, especially once you wake up and you realize things aren't actually what they seem to be, and most of what we're taught has been lies. You know, we can't let them win, that's for sure.
The winning team of the Super Bowl is going to win by 4 points because 1 + 3 = 4. This Taylor Swift conspiracy theory is getting out of hand.
I was born on the 13th. I turned 13 on Friday the 13th. My first album went gold in 13 weeks. Also, thanks. My first song that ever went #1, it had a 13-second intro. And every time I've ever won an award at an award show, I've either been seated in the 13th row or row M, which is the 13th letter. Wow. And when I won the Horizon Award at the CMA Awards, the producer came up to me when I was sound checking and said, "All right, we're going to go in 13 seconds.
And to keep the 13s going, Taylor Swift is flying to Las Vegas from Tokyo. And the flight time from Tokyo to Las Vegas is about 13 hours. This is the 58th Super Bowl, and what's 5 + 8? 13. And where some people consider the number 13 extremely lucky, others believe that this is one of the worst numbers. And it's really common for the number 13 to be skipped in buildings and elevators, even though we all know that 12A is actually 13. And just to top everything off, people believe that Taylor Swift is actually the daughter of Zena LaVey. Zena LaVey is the daughter of Anton LaVey, and he is the man who founded the Church of Satan in 1966. The list goes on and on. What do you think? Coincidence?
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. I really just think she's a Hollywood puppet, and she does what she's told. And she sold her soul. And it shows because all she cares about is numerology and symbolism. A lot of her shows, as well as other celebrities, they openly shove the symbolism in our faces with satanic rituals. And this is something I've noticed a very long time ago, so it's nothing new. But it's great that people are starting to see it and put 2 and 2 together, because these people are not people that your kids or yourself should be worshiping. They're not good people. And I think the world is finally waking up to that, which is great.
Everyone's talking about the earthquakes in Japan, but take a look at this. This is the last 48 hours, all the seismic waves on this earth. Why is no one talking about this? Here's some videos from Japan and the earthquakes that hit on January 1st, 2024. This is the end times that we're living in right now. This is one of the greatest moments to be alive. A new island's coming up after a volcano. It's absolutely insane. And let's not forget to mention that the weather is completely different all over the United States right now. Once again, look at what's going on. Nobody's going to talk about this. I want you guys to open up your eyes and open up your heart. And this is not a scare tactic. This is showing you what's going on right now. And I'm crying out from the rooftops, believe in Jesus. He is the only way. He can set you free, and do not have fear. Fear does not come from God. Only fear the Lord.
I've also heard a lot of people predict that there's going to be massive weather changes and earthquakes, floods, tsunamis, and all kinds of crazy weather things happening when it's the end times. And perhaps it could be that, or maybe weather modification. It's really interesting. We can't really say for sure, but yeah, a lot of weird stuff going on. At this point, nothing really surprises me anymore. Definitely not shocked that this would be going on. I don't believe in the climate change propaganda. The government, they do have patents on weather engineering technology. So there's a lot of things that could come into play regarding this issue.
April 8th, 2024 is a date that has everyone talking. This is the day when the moon will slide between Earth and the sun, casting its shadow across our planet in a grand display that we call a total solar eclipse. This celestial spectacle will traverse North America in its entirety, from Mexico up through the United States and into Canada. It's an event that's both humbling and awe-inspiring, reminding us of the cosmic ballet that endlessly unfolds above our heads. But it's not just the spectacle that captures our fascination, it's the mystery and the intrigue. The sun, our closest star, is a source of life and light, yet it holds so many secrets. And as we anticipate this event, the sun's mystique only grows stronger.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's been a lot of reports about the sun looking different, and apparently there's another sun. People are seeing two suns at the same time. But I do know when there's eclipses, it definitely strange phenomena tend to happen. If that's the sun going down over there, then what is that?
I'd love to do it. Just to be a crew, we just get yelling.
Yeah, again with the two suns, there's a lot of videos of this. A lot of people believe that's not actually a second sun, that it's planet Nibiru, and that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. But it's definitely really cool that there is a possibility of two suns. Not gonna lie, if I saw this, I would definitely trip out. But yeah, who knows?
As far as I've studied and looked into this, is the only place where what the Pioneer 10 probes 10 and 11 found is ever contained in a diagram. The rest of everything was lost. They called it a dead star, and it was located 50 billion miles from our solar system in 1983. Now, why is it called a dead star? Well, this is going to get into our understanding of the true history of our solar system that we haven't been taught. When we look at data from other solar systems, we find that the common theme is that about 80% of all solar systems are binary, and often trinary, means they have at least 2, if not 3 stars within them. Now, when we look at ours, we're told that we only have 1 star, known as our sun. But yet, the Pioneer probes found something else completely different than that. And that, to me, is probably the greatest secret that's been kept from us. Because think about it for a moment. NASA came out with the announcement in the 1990s describing how there was a planet beyond the Kuiper Belt, and they openly announced that, and then everything went dead. That tells us a lot, because it means that they didn't know that that binary companion was out there. And once they discovered it, they realized it was part of this entire cycle. To me, it's the same thing as if they knew that a comet or an asteroid was headed to Earth. All that information would be covered up and hidden because they wouldn't want mass panic. I believe that this is the exact same thing as that, where they figured out that there's this object out there, this dead star that they identified, and the way they were able to identify that is through the signature of the star, and they found that that dead star is part of this entire cycle with our solar system and sun. Now, what kind of cycle are we talking about? What we find when we look at data from this dead star is that it has a complete rotation of about 13,000 years, which would exactly line up to these 13,000-year events. As this dead star approaches our sun, as it gets closest, it's known as perihelion, and as it goes farther away, it's known as aphelion, and that's part of a great cycle in the dance between our two stars. Now, this dead star was identified as a dead star because of the signature that it presented on the Pioneer probes. They were actually engineered to be able to go out and find an object that was extremely dark and hard to see. That's why it was initially equipped with that technology to find planets, because planets are extremely difficult to see because they're not lit up. But instead, they also found an object that was dark as well. Now, this star, called a dead star in the 1987 Science and Invention Encyclopedia, was called a dead star because of the way they identified the signature of it. It means that it once was a star like our sun, and it either had a supernova or somehow exploded in a way where it became a smaller object but with extreme high density. Similar to in the way where you'd see a star collapse to turn into a black hole. But in this case, it didn't. It just remained as what is known in some circles in ancient studies as a dead star or a dark star. That's actually been referred in several areas. One of the best places we can find that is the Celtic and Egyptian book known as the Qumran Bible. And in that...
Yeah, I believe he's definitely onto something. I do believe that NASA and all these other companies, they don't want to tell us the truth. Like, they hide a lot. And this guy seems like he knows what he's saying. He's like bringing up actual things from hundreds of years ago. Like, he looks like he probably worked for NASA and probably knows things that they don't want us knowing. You know, with allegations of the moon landing being fake and all other kinds of things. NASA putting out fake images of the moon, of the earth, and planets. You just really don't know. But that's pretty cool.
World Trade UFO. What the hell going on here, America? Look at this UFO by the World Trade. Oh, wait. Sheesh. Can somebody please explain this, America? This is some rare footage of a UFO by the World Trade Center. And the internet totally forgot about this video. And this is way before CGI technology, way before the AI. What is your take on this video? Could this video be real or fake? Leave a comment below on what you think. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next videos. This video is scripted, fake, and for entertainment purposes only, for educational purposes only. But if you know, you know. Ooh, wait.
Now we know.
Come on, big troll alert. Come on, leave them comments.
Yeah, I've never seen this one before. But we all know they don't speak about this because they are all in on it.
So I poured it out in my bowl, and out comes this paper that was all folded up just like this.
The note contains a mashup of words and references to current events and conspiracy theories. Miller says his big concern is that somehow a note made its way into a sealed food product.
I don't know what's inside the cereal, if this note was laced with anything. It's not the note that really bothers me, it's just these notes are found inside food.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Honestly, I've worked factory jobs, and if a factory employee really wanted to mess with someone, they definitely could do that. Yeah, I don't think it's some big conspiracy, but it's definitely a factory worker who most likely did that before they seal the product. I don't know what their intent was. Maybe they're sick of their job and just wanted to mess with someone. But I do wish he'd show us what the note said. So he kind of left us hanging here, you know.